Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It's Thursday morning and I'm going to be talking today about something I don't address that often, and that is the supposed children of Harry and Meghan, Archie and Lillebet. Now, if you've listened to any of my videos, you know that I've said repeatedly that there are no children, and I believe that. There's just way too much evidence to prove otherwise, to prove it. And we're going to look at a little bit of that. Some prints, some pictures, and I'm just going to give my opinion on things, how I see it, and we can try to figure it all out. Something's up, because from the beginning, this was just foolishness. She got pregnant so quickly, first of all, and when they were in Australia, she's swanning around. One day she's got, she looks pretty normal, and the next day a huge bump, and we saw this at events through her pregnancies, even the same day, same event, just a few hours difference. Her shape and size would be dramatically altered. From one day to the next, her moon bump was a different size. It was a kind of different location on her body. One occasion it slipped, and we've got photographic evidence of it. How about when Meghan bends over and squats? It's impossible. Anybody who's ever been pregnant, first of all, knows that that's not happening. And she never got out of her heels either, She never... Nobody that's ever been pregnant, And she's always clutching the moon bump. I think that was a couple of reasons to draw attention to it. And look at me, I'm pregnant with a prince or something. And the other, well, we saw it slip so many times. She was probably worried that it would shift position. So, and when Archie was born, that ridiculous Photoshop segment in the Barnes or something, Harry came out and talking about how amazing the whole process was, and that, gee, within a couple of weeks, the kid changes so much. What do you mean a couple of weeks? When was this kid born? There was, evidence like that. Where was it a slip of the tongue? Did he mean something else? And then when you saw Harry and Meghan holding, Harry, they're in the hallway at the palace, and Harry's digging he's holding the baby. I don't know if I can stand up, but you've seen the pictures. He's holding the baby, and his thumb is like jabbing in. Some have suggested to hit the start button so the baby might move a little bit, because really all we saw was a couple of eyes peeking out from a blanket and a little cap. The photographers they did allow were like 20 feet away or something. They were not allowed to get close at all. And how is that when you can't even tell if it's a real baby or not? Come on. The documents are another thing. The birth announcement, they always pin those kind of things to the fence, to the gates at Buckingham Palace. And we know the format. They have the little announcement, so-and-so was given birth to a child, and everybody's great. And it would be signed off by all the royal doctors that participated. Archie's just had a little statement with no signatures. Highly unusual. And the wording was a little bit different than the normal wording as well. So there's that right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. And I mean, it didn't take very long into her supposed, what some people like to call her malignancy, that people were speculating that there may be a surrogate, and she's trying to cover for that. Now, we don't know. And this is a credible thing, because in Megan's mind, she knows that you need heirs to kind of solidify your position. Heirs to the throne, no less. So she'd want to get in on that action. She definitely would. There's been rumors in the past that she's had a hysterectomy. There are rumors that she's actually got a child by a man that's been kept hidden. There's been all kinds of rumors, that she can't get pregnant and stuff like this. There's rumors that she, while she was in Toronto, froze eggs, presumably, and perhaps brought them over to England. I don't know how that whole process works. But the thing is, in England, as it directly relates to the royals, any children in the line of succession have to be proven to be born of the body. Nobody believes this about Archie or Lillebet, to be honest. The thought of a surrogacy, pretty high. Now, because it would not be born of the body, that child would not be allowed to be in the line of succession. But lesser royals that they are, I think, if this were the case, and if Harry and Meghan came out to the royal family and said, we're going to use a surrogate, if they didn't care about the line of succession, nobody would have made a big deal about it. But you see, Meghan, and I think Harry too, is very concerned about their status. And Meghan wants a solid toehold into a legacy around the royal family. So, from the birth certificates, palace birth announcements, her behavior, the moon bumps, and then you had occasions where you saw, like Meghan, when she went to the polo wearing that tent dress. She wasn't supposed to show up, and she's carrying Archie, supposedly wrapped on a really hot day, no hat on the kid. She's got him outside for who knows how long. Some people that were there reported she really only made a short appearance, wasn't there very long at all. She was not given a good reception by Catherine or anybody else that was there. Nobody came up to see the baby. She did not offer the baby. She didn't show it off. She didn't hi everybody, I'm here. And no, she was really trying to make an appearance, but also keep away from everybody. So that's another thing. And the way she was holding, every picture of her holding those children looked fake. It doesn't look like a real kid. And if it is, she has no idea how to hold one. The whole process looks awkward. It has from the beginning, and it continues to this day. There's a lot of speculation over the years, pictures of Archie. The kid changes, and kids do. They change as they get older. But you can take a picture. You can look at somebody who's 60 years old and look at a picture of them when they were 2 or 3, and you can see the resemblances that have carried through the years. With Archie, from one picture to the next, he doesn't really resemble Harry or Meghan. He mostly resembles Eugenie, Princess Eugenie's son. I mean, they're almost identical. You've got pictures of Eugenie with her children, and you've got pictures of supposed Archie. And now there was, at one point, Eugenie and the kids, they did go out to California to visit Harry and Meghan, and there was pictures taken on the beach and this and that. I think some of the pictures that we've been told are Archie are actually Princess Eugenie's son. I think so. Whatever it is. Now, okay, so let's get back to the surrogacy. If indeed, and this is what's been speculated upon, if indeed they did hire a surrogate for a child, and she went around with the moon bumps pretending to be pregnant, because there was all, even at the time of the birth, there's discrepancies of weeks, not even hours, of when the kid was. By the time they made the announcement she was in labor, they'd already had the child. I mean, who knows? But so none of the information around the birth jibe, which leads me to believe again it was all a hoax. Now, with a surrogacy, what could have happened, and we know Meghan in here, there would have had to be some kind of a deal, some kind of a disclosure agreement as well. Probably a lot of money changing hands. And this is where I think it happened. If there was a surrogacy deal, maybe Harry and Meghan didn't pay up, or something was wrong with the kid, or who knows for what reason the child was never given over to Harry and Meghan. Just my thought. There's been rumors that there's been court cases, but I mean, you can't find any information, really. I can't, because it would all be under false names and stuff anyway. But that's a thought, that the surrogacy fell through and the parent said, no, you're not having the kid. And so then now they got to scramble. You look at the pictures of Archie from the time he was in the tub to now, the pictures in between, from the color of his hair to the color of his eyes to the size of the kid, it doesn't match up. And now we get to Lillebet, and from off the top, it's the same damn thing. The same moon bump madness, the same strange announcements, timing of things, and all of that, and the birth. Well, we've read in Spare how Harry describes the birth. He was high on laughing gas the whole time. Apparently, Meghan supposedly had, what the heck is it called? The shot where they numb you from the waist down, basically. It'll come to me. But, and that they had the birth, and within 2 hours they were back home. Well, that's impossible. After you've had that procedure, you can't walk for a few hours. Your body is numb. Your legs don't work. You can't stand. They would never release you. Epidural, that's what it's called. It's a needle of freezing that they inject into your lower spine during labor to decrease the pain. But it also basically numbs you out. But, yeah, those claims. And that the nurses in this hospital would, Harry's sucking up all the laughing gas, and they're like, oh, gee, you done there? We'll roll in another tank. Unbelievable. It would never happen that way. So we know that's a made-up story. And then we get to the doctor herself that Megan says delivered Lillie. Come to find out, her husband said she wasn't even in town when Lillie was born, let alone working at the hospital. She was out of town. Shortly thereafter, said gynecologist closed her practice. Like from one day to the one day she was at work, and the next day we have this posting up. Dear friends, she's closing her practice with no notice whatsoever and just fades off the surface of the earth. Nobody knows where she... Why did that happen? I tell you, everything surrounding Megan and Harry and those children is a fake and a farce and a deception. The pictures of Lillebet, supposedly, I think it was her first birthday, they were at Frogmore Cottage. They had come and brought Lillie, and the pictures of her on the lawn, well, we discover that kid is actually the gardener's child. It's not Lillebet, it's not their child. Supposedly Lillebet had a play date with the Queen. Megan told us didn't happen. We've got pictures of them in Montecito. The Halloween picture showing them from the back. Harry's in a suit. I mean, it looks completely fake. Completely fake. There's not one bloody picture of those children that hasn't been manipulated or photoshopped or something. Or staged with, rent-a-kid actors. There's not one bloody thing about them that is authentic. So whether Archie's situation was a surrogacy that went south and they've had to substitute children in, Lillebet right off the top doesn't exist at all. Don't believe it. When they talk about their children, Archie's first word was something like crocodile, and Lillebet at 3 is really finding her feminine voice, her feminist voice. Well, who is Lillebet? One statement, Harry says, she's got her mother's hair. Nappy afro hair? Apparently not, because in the pictures, and he goes on to say it's so long she can almost sit on it, and then we've got pictures and her hair's like up here, and it's red hair. It's not Megan's hair. It's not Megan's hair. Look at Megan as a child. That's another thing. That's been discovered. Royal Grift has done amazing work discovering that even the pictures of Megan from the time she was a child, all those family photographs and the narrative and the story that we've been fed to believe is a lie. In my series, I've explained how Megan, her father having been in the entertainment industry, we know how corrupt it is. Some kids are brought in for some purposes, some are brought in for another. There's a rich history in Hollywood for actors and children being recruited by the 3-letter agencies to do some undercover work. Going back to the 50s in Hollywood, we now know there was a lot of actors and entertainers that were secret kind of agents for the 3-letter agencies. And I believe this is how Megan was brought in as a child, and all this sort of narrative and history, and that would explain the photoshopped pictures and all of that, I think, whom we know as Meghan Markle, is a persona. It's a creation. She isn't who she says she is. She's a creation, and this whole thing didn't happen by random chance. I think in the long run, in the big macro big picture, the whole operation and how they brought Harry in and he's working for the globalists. Well, the royal family are all globalists anyway, but when you get to the top, it's like a big game of Risk. You've got the royal family who own the Commonwealth, 1 billion people on the planet, and all that real estate as well. You've got the other globalists like Bill Gates, the World Economic Forum, World Health Forum. They're all, at one point, they were all fighting for the same thing: domination of the populace, right? Now it's getting to the point where even the guys at the top are so power hungry that they're going to try to disable their cohorts. So, like a big game of Survivor, Risk. And I think a lot of the scandal that's hit the royal family, yeah, a lot of it is their own fault, but is being manipulated and moved in a direction to weaken the royal family, and I think Meghan and Harry are part of that process. They may not know it. They may think that they just hate the royal family and, she'll talk dirt about them. I think it's part of a wider plan to weaken the royal family, even all the Andrew stuff, which I believe he did, and I believe it's even worse than what we hear, but I believe there's a concerted effort to weaken the royal family. Now, given where we are now, and we know all of this, we know Meghan is a construct, we know Meghan and Harry are agents of chaos, we know that whose ever children they're presenting, 100% of the information, print, photograph about them has been a lie. So we really don't know anything about them. The reason Meghan has to keep that up is because she needs to, especially now when her career's going south and her marriage is going south, she's been banned by the royal family. She's got to keep any ties she can with them to continue the manipulation and keep the money flowing. And this is why she's come out with On With Love Meghan, with, what was it, Mandy Kaling? I think that's her name, the actress. And, oh no, don't call me Meghan Markle, my name is Sussex now. Well, Sussex is a title. Their real legal name, as letter patent by the Queen dictates, their surname is Mountbatten-Windsor, not Sussex. Sussex is a title, but you see, the cry to remove their titles from the populace, politicians, people in Britain, people around the world and the Commonwealth, the cry to remove those titles has meant that Meghan has to make a move to solidify that title, because that's her link to the royal family. Even if her and Harry divorce, she'll always be the Duchess of Sussex, right? So this is why her insisting that Sussex is her name. This is her attempt to say, I know what you want to do, and it's not going to work. What she doesn't realize is the royal family is a lot more powerful than she's ever given them credit for. I believe there's been events in the past that they've been responsible for that the world will still never figure out. always be a conspiracy theory, if you know what I mean. We know that the royal family has basically banned Meghan from ever being around them again. That's why she's not going there. That makes it difficult for Harry too. I don't think they want him around. They would take him back if they had to, but it would be under a very limited access kind of a situation, I'm sure, and he would never get any royal duties back. But Meghan is trying to secure her future any way she can. I think she's really desperate right now. I think things are going to get interesting. I think more and more. We've already seen in the press the leaks starting to happen. And I think soon the floodgates are going to open, and it's going to put an end to Meghan's antics. Could take months, could take another year, but I think the royal family is about fed up with her, and they're ready to make a move, so that's something to watch for. But yeah, Harry and Meghan, Archie and Lillebet, it's all a construct, folks. That's just my opinion. Hope you liked this video. Hit that button. Share this video. Leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you're thinking. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.